David Dido Vega's sister steps up in Curacao Bay. She says she's ready to run in her brother's place. We'll tell you why the Battle of the Bay could be an internal PUP struggle. And the double murder Monday night in Belize City, we'll tell you about two men killed within 90 minutes of each other. Plus, PM Bersenio names his star-studded economic recovery team. We'll show you who the captains of industry, banking, and business are. Also, we'll take you to a mechanic shop that fixes broken men and broken cars. Oh, we've got details of these and all the stories in our newscast for tonight, Tuesday, December 15, 2020. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Make your Christmas bright this year with a quick and easy loan from Quick Stop in December and make no payments until January. Visit your nearest Quick Stop branch or apply online at quickstoponline.com. Offer ends December 31st. Quick Stop Personal Finance Center. No hassle loans.
It goes without saying that 2020 was a most challenging year. During the disruption caused by COVID-19, RF&G Insurance took the opportunity to use technology to come up with new solutions for doing business with our customers. This includes expanded use of social media platforms, as well as the launch of our own RF&G online platform, which provides our clients with secure, direct access to their insurance accounts, their related policies, and even allows them to file and monitor claims. At a community level, RF&G has continued to focus its support on causes and organizations in need of assistance. For the Christmas holidays, we have funded an initiative that will enable our staff members to give back within their own communities to neighbors who have been worst hit by the pandemic. We wish you, your families and work colleagues a safe 2021, and we look forward to assisting you with your insurance needs and advice throughout the year.
For hydration, when the choice is yours, choose the brand you have always trusted. Crystal Water. Taste you can trust.
What's wrong? It's him. He hit me again.
Oh my gosh.
This time it was worse. He slammed my face in the wall and threatened to kill me. If you or someone you know is experiencing family violence, call 0800 for Way Out. Or you can text or WhatsApp to 672-9628. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission, with funding from The Engender and Spotlight Projects.
Have you been a victim of gender-based violence and were dissatisfied with the service received from the department you visited? The National Women's Commission developed a complaint form, which addresses the concerns of victims of gender-based violence who felt that they were not treated professionally by the police, healthcare professionals, social service institutions, or other relevant sectors. The form is filled out by the victim or another person on his or her behalf. The form should be placed in the box provided at the designated office in your district. These forms are self-addressed, so they can also be folded, stapled, and mailed to the address on the form, free of cost, by any post office countrywide. Your information will be held in the strictest confidence. You will be able to fill out the form online, which will be on the National Women's Commission website. After the form has been sent, an internal investigation will be conducted by the relevant department, and you will be notified of the changes made as a result of your complaint. The victim's complaint mechanism will be rolled out in all districts. This message is brought to you by the National Women's Commission with funding from Engender and Spotlight projects and support from the Department of Youth Services.
Have a holly jolly Christmas this December with NextGen. Contact us today to sign up for free service installation or reconnection and receive 1 month free on your acquired service. Celebrate the spirit of the season by entering our grand raffle. This month, new and existing customers can enter a chance to win a 40-inch smart TV or up to 3 months free bundled service with a Debo 3. Visit our office for a chance to win today. Our raffle will be drawn live on the national channel. From our NextGen family to yours, we wish you peace and joy throughout the Christmas season. NextGen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
"47-year-old deceased PUP area rep David Dito Vega was buried yesterday with a moving official funeral. And while party leader and Prime Minister John Briceño said yesterday that it's not yet time to talk about a replacement candidate to contest a by-election, try telling that to his family. For them, this is no time to mourn. They have sprung into action determined to protect Dito's legacy in the Bay. And it's no idle or sentimental pursuit. The fact is, Vega's passing has created a political opportunity. It's considered an easy seat for the PUP to win, considering that David Vega just won by over 400 votes, which is a healthy margin in a usually close division. We're told as many as 8 candidates have expressed interest, and the Vegas are determined to protect what their brother and son fought so hard for over many years. The PUP Corozal Bay executive put up a Facebook post saying it, quote, has met and as a united front decided to pledge the support to Mrs. Elvia Vega Samos as the next area representative of Corozal Bay. It continues, quote, she has agreed to continue the legacy of her brother, Honorable David Dito Vega. We rise again with the slogan, this one, David Dito, end quote. That emotive virtually can't miss slogan is followed up by a letter that Elvia Vega wrote to the PUP headquarters officially declaring her candidacy. Now, that is a tough one to look past since she, Vega Samos, has served and is presently the chairlady of the executive. But the backstory is that the Vegas are likely trying to protect the seat against one prominent PUP family in Corozal, the same family that Dito Vega had battled against to finally get elected as standard bearer. Whether the threat is real or perceived, the Vega family has gone very much on the offensive in order to defend their brother's legacy, a move the old basketballer Dito would surely commend. We'll see if this game goes into overtime since there are months to go before a by-election. We don't have any weekend murders to report last night, and the whole country was surely glad for the break from homicidal violence, especially after a very heavy weekend of COVID casualties. And just as we were all trying to get past that, then came a double murder Monday night. 2 men killed within minutes of each other on the south side of Belize City. We start tonight with the murder of 26-year-old Keith Courtney. He was gunned down on Ebony Street, and if his name sounds familiar, that's because he's the son of Keith Courtney Sr., who back in March was also killed in the very same area. Cherise Halsal brought you that story, and today she went back there to speak to a woman who lost both son and grandson in less than a year.
This is the veranda on which Keith Courtney Jr. made his unknowing last stand. Police say that his assailants barged into this yard, firing the shots that would prove fatal. And this morning, I visited Courtney's grandmother. She says that while she wasn't anywhere near the yard, she heard every single shot.
The only thing I heard was 6 bullets. 6 aim, not 6 shots. But I never know who get shot. I'm in my bed, and then I top and come outside. My daughter, we live over there, Elaine. And she tell me, say, Chinchi, they killed Chinchi last night. I said, what?
Courtney was called Chinchi because he was his father's junior.
I said, Chinchi, I said, who called me? Look, you said our house down there, one of my friend. I must call you, must come buy something, academy, because they are how I hear they said, somebody, I don't know who killed her. He'll come at the time. I just long there, granny. I will be a hint talk. There was a night coming in. One glass of water, tell her to take it. You know, my son, him to work. And we have one baby.
Courtney had 2 children. His common-law wife, who spoke to us off camera, is the mother of his younger daughter.
All I see 3 missed call, and then I see the text they kill Keith. So when I call the police, I done me up on the area already. And the family members say me in the yard where they usually got around. And they me don't rush on the hospital. So my first everything, he give me my daughter, where I'm thankful for every day. And when I did at work, he spent most of the time with she. So the like father born when nobody can get between. I don't know how I will explain to she that people gone. I like to say that he da me a good man and he take care of his 2 girls.
A family robbed of 2 fathers, leaving their children to a much harder struggle than they could have expected. It's a sentiment that Courtney's uncle lamented back when his brother was killed.
Just going right down the drain, just I got like all the rest of murder, you know. Just like how I see mothers cry on TV, my mom cry the same way, sister, brother cry the same way, you know. We are got the memories of we heart and thing, right? The rest of the country I forget, you know, that that's what another black man did, you know. Another black father did.
My son is dead, they kill him too. They kill him down here now, by the gambit. He had a legal and solid down, but back he not get shot. He get over and save her.
It rough. Rough. Nobody would have ever expect that would have come a second time, knock on the door and say, all right, that his turn to go. It ain't the father now. We can't do nothing about it. We just have to thanks for the time we there and the memories what we share with her.
Cherise Halsell, 7 News.
Kate Courtney Jr. leaves behind 2 daughters, a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. And on the subject of Courtney's murder, the cops say that he was likely involved with one of the gangs in the area and that he was killed due to some type of turf rivalry. This afternoon, when we spoke to Superintendent Alejandro Kawa, he told us that the killers drove up to the yard that became the murder scene.
Just before 9, Mr. Keith Courtney, 26 years, was on his veranda on Ebony Street, along with another family member, when 2 male persons ran upstairs and they fired shot, injuring him, and he was later transported to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Do we know why he was targeted?
We have been gathering information likewise, and we believe that it was not him who was the intended target, but the other person who was along with him.
Suspects in this case?
We are looking for several persons that we believe can assist us in the investigation at this time.
Do you have anyone detained at this moment, sir?
We have a number of persons already in custody that police are interviewing at this time.
The men, how did they access there? Were they in a vehicle, on bike?
Yeah, we understand that they came on a vehicle and they walked towards the residence of Mr. Courtney. Yes, we know that he has been called likewise or said to be associated one of the gangs in that area, and we believe hence the reason again that might be the motive for the other person that they were looking. Is the dispute that they have around those gang rivalries in that neighborhood. At this present moment, the gang situation, we understand that there are several persons that are moving about, and this is causing a dispute, internal dispute among them, and this is how some of them are targeted because they are moving from one place to the other place.
And Monday night's first murder targeted a teenager, and his family is left asking why 19-year-old Micah Baltazar was targeted by a gunman around 7:30 last night on Niels Penn Road. He was ambushed by an invitation to talk to a young woman. Courtney Menzies has more.
"19-year-old Micah Baltazar was reportedly lured to his death last night. He was likely being closely watched because the gunman approached him at a home he frequently visited on Rivera Street Extension, the home of his cousin, who was more like an uncle to him. According to this cousin, Baltazar was about to leave when the man said a girl was looking for him on Niels Penn Road. But it was apparently a trap, and as Baltazar walked on the street, a gunman ambushed him and opened fire. His aunt told us off camera that while she knows her nephew wasn't a saint, they could have never expected that he would be killed so callously.
To be honest, I won't say Micah is an innocent, that he's a perfect person, because to be honest, nobody's perfect. Micah has his ways, but at home, and what we know, what I personally know about Micah is a very humble person, a sweet soul. Micah always has us laughing, and he's a joyful person. We were very much devastated about the situation, but being believers in Christ, we are leaving the situation to the Lord.
And I know you said his mother suffers from seizures. How has this news been on her? It must be super difficult.
Very much difficult, and we are trying to hold it together for her, being that she's a very sickly person.
So far, the police's investigation has led them to believe that the motive was gang-related and that Baltazar was killed simply because of the area that he hung out.
What we understand is that Mr. Baltazar had just exited his uncle's residence, which is somewhere in the Coral Road area, and was walking on Niels Penn Road when he was approached by someone who fired several shots at him, causing his death.
Any idea why he was killed, sir?
We have been gathering some information, and so far we know that he is not from that area, and because he hangs at another location, and we believe that is the motive why he was shot.
The police are not looking for one suspect. Courtney Menzies, 7 News.
Baltazar was known to police. And we take a break now. When we come back, we'll show you a mechanic shop that fixes cars, but it also repairs the men who work there. Don't go away.
Looking for a paint which offers durability, fast drying action, easy application, long-lasting protection, and low odor? Then Coronado is the brand you need. Choose from eggshell, flat, or semi-gloss finishes for your home's interior or exterior. You can also protect your deck from the harsh outdoor elements with Coronado Maxum deck and siding stain. We also have primers, masonry, and metal coatings for other projects around your home. Benny's Paint Center has the paint you need in the color and finish you want. Enjoy your newly painted home with long-lasting, durable Coronado paints. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Delicate, the beer of Belize.
It goes without saying that 2020 was a most challenging year. During the disruption caused by COVID-19, RFG Insurance took the opportunity to use technology to come up with new solutions for doing business with our customers. This includes expanded use of social media platforms, as well as the launch of our own RF&G online platform, which provides our clients with secure, direct access to their insurance accounts, their related policies, and even allows them to file and monitor claims. At a community level, RF&G has continued to focus its support on causes and organizations in need of assistance. For the Christmas holidays, we have funded an initiative that will enable our staff members to give back within their own communities to neighbors who have been worst hit by the pandemic. We wish you, your families and work colleagues a safe 2021, and we look forward to assisting you with your insurance needs and advice throughout the year.
On March 11th, the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic. A pandemic means the virus is everywhere, but it might not be everywhere at the same time. If there are no cases in your area, it does not mean that there will never be cases in your area. Here's what you can do to delay the spread of COVID-19 in your community. Stay home unless it's absolutely necessary for you to go out. Practice physical distancing when you leave home. Wash your hands frequently using soap and water for at least 40 seconds, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with anyone who has fever, cough and cold, or flu-like symptoms. Obey quarantine, isolation, and curfew rules. Clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces such as doorknobs, counters, phones, and tablets. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth without first washing your hands. Help keep Belize safe.
Contraband is the illegal importation of goods such as alcohol, tobacco, foods, and parts. Apart from breaking the law, smugglers are also now endangering the health of all Belizeans. They risk bringing coronavirus into Belize with their contraband. To keep COVID-19 out of Belize, everyone entering the country is screened and quarantined. But contraband smugglers are not using legal entry points and are bypassing all safety measures. And these same smugglers are moving among the population. They could be carrying the virus. By coming into the country illegally, they could cause outbreaks of COVID-19. Buying or smuggling contraband is putting yourself, your family, and the entire country at risk. Report smuggling. For SMART, call 0800-JUMPERS or 0800-BORDERS. For Digi, 0800-SAVE-BZE. This message is brought to you by the Belize Police Department and the Belize Bank.
El contrabando es importar ilegalmente productos como el alcohol, tabaco, comida y objetos. Aparte de romper la ley, los contrabandistas están poniendo ahora en riesgo la salud de los beliceños. Ellos arriesgan traer coronavirus a Belice por medio de sus contrabandos. Para mantener el COVID-19 fuera de Belice, todos los que entren al país son examinados y encuarentenados. Sin embargo, los contrabandistas no utilizan los puntos de entrada legal y se saltan todas las medidas de seguridad. Estos mismos traficantes se están moviendo entre la población. Ellos podrían tener el virus. Al entrar ilícitamente al país, esto puede provocar un brote de COVID-19. Comprar o traficar contrabando te pone a ti, a tu familia y a todo tu país en riesgo. Para números de SMART, llama al 0800-586-7377, 0800-267-3377 y para Digi 0800-728-3293 para reportar cualquier actividad de contrabando. Este mensaje es presentado por el Departamento de Policía de Belice y el Banco de Belice.
puts our entire nation at risk. Our neighbors, Guatemala and Mexico, are experiencing rapidly increasing numbers of COVID-19 cases, and there are more deaths every day. Persons entering Belize illegally from these hotspot countries are not being tested for COVID-19. That's why it is important to report anyone entering Belize illegally by calling our hotlines. Smart users call 0800-JUMPERS or 0800-BORDERS. For Digi, call 0800-SAVE-BZE. Condoning or engaging in border jumping is putting yourself, your family, and the entire country at risk. Remember, anyone caught will be fined up to $5,000 and or imprisoned for 2 years. Stop border jumping now. This message is brought to you by the Belize Police Department and the Belize Bank.
Saltar la frontera es ilegal y coloca a toda la nación en riesgo. Nuestros vecinos, Guatemala y México, han experimentado un rápido incremento de casos de contagio de COVID-19 y hay más muertes cada día. Personas entrando a Belice ilegalmente, viniendo de esos países con múltiples casos, no les están haciendo las pruebas de COVID-19. Es por eso que es importante reportar a cualquiera que entre ilegalmente a Belice llamando a nuestras líneas directas. Para Smart, marque 0800-586-7377, 0800-267-3377 y para Digi, marque 0800-728-3293. Tolerar o participar en entrar ilegalmente es ponerte a ti, a tu familia y a todo tu país en riesgo. Recuerda, cualquiera que sea arrestado deberá pagar una multa de hasta 5,000 y o prisión por 2 años. Detén el salto de fronteras hoy. Este mensaje es presentado por el Departamento de Policía de Belice y el Banco de Belice.
The story of 2020 is, of course, the story of COVID-19 and all that it has brought to ruin, from the tourism industry to the national economy. GDP is down, exports are down, imports too, while unemployment is up, and we'd guess so is the misery index, while all data points in between speak to a deepening economic crisis. That's the situation the Presenio administration inherited. And today, the Office of the Prime Minister announced the appointment of an Economic Recovery Advisory Team. It's a star-studded lineup of the captains of commerce, industry, banking, and the merchant class. Christopher Coy from the Ministry of Finance and Sean Finstein from the tourism industry will act as co-chairmen of this advisory team. Other members include Gilbert Canton Jr. from the agro-productive sector, Reynaldo Magana from the international financial services sector, Dr. Henry Canton, who works with traditional commodities, Sandra Bertrand from the bank sector, Christopher Rowe from the insurance sector, Michael Bowen, a representative from the manufacturing sector, Nubia Ramirez, who works in business process outsourcing, Dr. Victor Rosado, who works in health, Narda Garcia, the CEO in the Office of the Prime Minister, Catherine Main, who represents small businesses, Corrine Robinson Fuller, who works in the credit union industry, and Mandela Wade, a representative from the National Trade Union Congress of Belize. A release says that this group, with its broad multi-sectorial representation, will make recommendations on how to generate sustainable economic activity, protect and create jobs, and successfully navigate the ongoing economic crisis. The advisory team will submit its recommendations and strategies to the Prime Minister for urgent consideration and action, but no timeline is yet stated. And while they have to figure out how to get the economy back on its feet, government still has to spread a safety net for the many falling by the wayside. Back when the COVID-19 pandemic initially hit the country earlier this year, the Barrow government came up with the Unemployment Relief Program as means of providing government aid to those poor Belizeans who were most impacted. Well, the Proscenio government is about to roll out a program of similar design and with the same types of recipients in mind. This government initiative is called the Belize COVID-19 Cash Transfer Program, or BCAT for short. The Ministry of Human Development is teaming up with the National Bank of Belize, Digi, and the Belize Social Investment Fund to make it possible. A government press release from today says this program will provide supplementary short-term emergency cash to households that have not qualified for other social assistance schemes. Beneficiaries will receive approximately $150 to $600 per month, depending on the household composition. So far, 36,000 beneficiaries have been assessed through the Food Assistance Program for the new BCAT. Priority is being placed on poor families with pregnant women, children and elderly, and persons living with a disability. Applications for this new government aid program opened up to the public today, and the ministry will be accepting applications up until December 23rd of 2020. This is being done for families who meet the eligibility requirement and did not apply in the first instance. Households that apply will be required to participate in a poverty assessment, and they must meet the program's eligibility criteria in order to benefit. Beneficiaries of this program will be notified of their successful application and payment dates using Mobile Pays, a new mobile payment solution developed by Digi. The application will allow beneficiaries to cash out their funds using their mobile phones. They will be notified of their payment amount as well as when and where to collect via bi-monthly text messages. This BCAT program is being funded by the government of Belize with funds from the World Bank, which has allocated $19 million to provide financial assistance to 18,000 households during a 6-month period. For more information about this new program, applicants can call the ministry's hotline at 0800 MHD HELP or 0800 CALL MHD during normal working hours. Additionally, you can visit the website humandevelopment.gov.bz/BCCAT. And if you're both down on your luck and newly released from prison, there's good news for your reintegration. That's because the foundation that runs the prison, along with the Love Foundation and the U.S. Embassy in Belize, have come together to fund community resource hubs for those in your exact situation. They'd already launched a hub in the Yara area, and this afternoon our news team was invited to the launch of a second hub, this one in the St. Martin's area.
It was a simultaneous graduation and launch today for the St. Martin's one-stop auto care shop. It's a mechanic shop, but it's also part of a larger project, one aimed at creating entrepreneurial opportunities for former gang members by creating community resource hubs in each of the historically underserved communities. And this afternoon, we got to talk to two men who've managed to turn their lives around and now look forward to a brand new business venture, which they hope will bring personal success to them and financial stability to their families.
I always look upon dreams and opportunities. I like make goals and plans and try to be successful. So for me, for this, it will be a good success for us. For me personally, I always like things like this, put myself into new challenges and try to become something different. Most of the guys up here went to no training. They grew up in like the tire shop, fixing tires, and like Mr. Cox will come and fix something, and the younger generation will come and look at it and they will see works and like memorizing stuff. Some kids don't good at school works. But when you put them to do the hard work, then you see the knowledge kick in. So then you see work started to operate and it started inspiration for different people. And when you start to do that, it builds strength for each other. And the older folks, some of the older generation, help us. They show we things, and if we don't want to ask, it's good to ask things so you can learn.
Some of the guys are going to have a regular job. We also try to work with the youths in the community to keep them away from crime and violence. so that they don't have to make the same mistakes we make or go down the same road we went.
And this second resource hub got its startup funds through partnerships with the Colby Foundation, the Love Foundation, and the U.S. Embassy. We caught up with the chargé after he stepped down from the podium, and he told us why the program is so important for the successful reintegration of formerly incarcerated men.
This is over about a 5-month period. We've been able to put some money towards it, Love Foundation organization, Colby the People, and it's really about giving these folks a second chance. People that have often been stigmatized because they've done time in prison or they've been part of gangs, but they themselves have chosen a new path. They've said, you know, we want to try something different. And so this program is all about giving them that second chance.
Chargé, a car is a very expensive asset. It's one that a lot of households have to guard assiduously. What would you say to households that maybe wouldn't have as much confidence putting their hands in the hands of ex-cons?
Listen, this is about second chances. And when you see somebody that took the easy route earlier and maybe went down a path that wasn't great and paid a price for it and turned around and said, I'm not going to continue down that path, they've chosen something remarkable. And so part of this is saying to the community, we all need to keep an open mind. And we need to say, listen, they've chosen something different. They are building faith and building trust in the community. Do I expect people overnight to say, oh, well, hang on, I'll hand over the keys to the kingdom? No. But these guys are working hard. And they're not saying, give us anything. They're saying, we will work for it. And so, yeah, as that trust builds up, as they build their reputation, I would expect folks in the community to say, yeah, I do trust to hand over and you to do work or detail on a vehicle.
A new start at a new dream, but one that will require a lot of hard work and a lot of trust building.
We will be offering full auto care. You know, you could come and get your oil change. If you have a problem with your vehicle, you can come over. We'll diagnose the problem and fix it. We expect to see in the next 5 years, maybe we buy a 5-acre lot of land and we offer branch out from there and give different services, work on big machinery as well. That's where we see ourselves in 5 years.
Cherise Halso, 7 News.
One more community resource hub is set to be launched on George Street in 2021. Back in September, we told you about 78-year-old Brenda Vazquez and her grandson, 27-year-old Christian Young. That's when police searched their home in Belama Phase 3 and found what looked like a confectionery kitchen. But none of their treats were for children. The cops believe that they were making homemade lollipops, fudge brownies, gummies, and other goodies that were allegedly infused with weed. Vazquez and her grandson were charged with drug possession for 30 grams of marijuana, which were allegedly found inside Young's room. Well, this granny, her grandson, and her son, 40-year-old Giovanni Vazquez, were arraigned today on 3 counts of drug trafficking before Magistrate Stephanie Gillett. Police say that on October 16, 2020, they acted on special branch intelligence and searched a home on Lauren Burgess Crescent in the kitchen area. They found cannabis resin inside brownies, which amounted to 1.126 kilos. They also allegedly found cannabis resin inside a Fruit Loops cereal box, which amounted to 636 grams. Finally, the cops are claiming that they found cannabis resin inside a box of Lucky Charms cereal, which amounted to 720 grams. Now, that's a total of 2.482 kilos, or almost 5.5 pounds of treats that were allegedly infused with weed. Brenda and Giovanni Vazquez were released on bail, but because Young has had previous run-ins with the law, he was remanded to the Belize Central Prison. The magistrate informed him that he would need to apply to the Supreme Court for bail. The trio is due back in court for these drug trafficking charges on February 12th of 2021. Court reports are that Vazquez and Young have another weed brownies case to answer to, which date back to August. The Coast Guard was in Sartineja today to talk about keeping COVID from coming across from Mexico in this northernmost fishing community. Acting Commandant Gregory Soberanis, along with his operational staff, met with the leaders in the village to discuss community collaboration to deter, that is, the cross-border transmission of COVID-19, aka border jumpers. The Coast Guard also met with members of the Sartineja Alliance for Conservation and Development to enhance the management of the marine resources and environment in the Curacao Bay area. Soberanis says maritime border security is a priority for the Coast Guard, as it is an integral component of its national defense mandate. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll tell you the real story of why Mickey and Minnie the Mouse and worrying COVID stats posted and then taken down from the Ministry of Health's Facebook page. Don't go away.
Which offers durability, fast-drying action, easy application, long-lasting protection, and low odor, then Coronado is the brand you need. Choose from eggshell, flat, or semi-gloss finishes for your home's interior or exterior. You can also protect your deck from the harsh outdoor elements with Coronado Maxum deck and siding stain. We also have primers, masonry, and metal coatings for other projects around your home. Benny's Paint Center has the paint you need in the color and finish you want. Enjoy your newly painted home with long-lasting, durable Coronado paints. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
It goes without saying that 2020 was a most challenging year. During the disruption caused by COVID-19, RF&G Insurance took the opportunity to use technology to come up with new solutions for doing business with our customers. This includes expanded use of social media platforms, as well as the launch of our own RF&G online platform, which provides our clients with secure, direct access to their insurance accounts, their related policies, and even allows them to file and monitor claims. At a community level, RF&G has continued to focus its support on causes and organizations in need of assistance. For the Christmas holidays, we have funded an initiative that will enable our staff members to give back within their own communities to neighbors who have been worst hit by the pandemic. We wish you, your families, and work colleagues a safe 2021, and we look forward to assisting you with your insurance needs and advice throughout the year.
Everyone is at risk of catching COVID-19, so it's important to quickly recognize signs and symptoms of the infection. The most common symptoms are fever, dry cough, and tiredness or fatigue. Some people may also have sore throat, aches and pains, stuffy nose, or diarrhea. But a few people have also reported pink eye or conjunctivitis, headache, loss of taste or smell, a rash on skin, or change in the color of fingers or toes. Emergency warning signs that require immediate medical attention are extreme difficulty breathing, severe constant pain or pressure in the chest, becoming confused, unable to talk or move, bluish lips, face, fingers, or toes. For more information, call 0800-MOH-CARE. Help keep Belize safe.
contrabando es importar ilegalmente productos como el alcohol, tabaco, comida y objetos. Aparte de romper la ley, los contrabandistas están poniendo ahora en riesgo la salud de los beliceños. Ellos arriesgan traer coronavirus a Belice por medio de sus contrabandos. Para mantener el COVID-19 fuera de Belice, todos los que entren al país son examinados y encuarentenados. Sin embargo, los contrabandistas no utilizan los puntos de entrada legal y se saltan todas las medidas de seguridad. Estos mismos traficantes se están moviendo entre la población. Ellos podrían tener el virus. Al entrar ilícitamente al país, esto puede provocar un brote de COVID-19. Comprar o traficar contrabando te pone a ti, a tu familia y a todo tu país en riesgo. Para números de Smart, llama al 0800-586-7377, 0800-267-3377 y para Digi 0800-728-3293 para reportar cualquier actividad de contrabando. Este mensaje es presentado por el Departamento de Policía de Belice y el Banco de Belice.
Border jumping is illegal and puts our entire nation at risk. Our neighbors, Guatemala and Mexico, are experiencing rapidly increasing numbers of COVID-19 cases, and there are more deaths every day. Persons entering Belize illegally from these hotspot countries are not being tested for COVID-19. That's why it is important to report anyone entering Belize illegally by calling our hotlines. Smart users call 0800-JUMPERS or 0800-BORDERS. For Digi, call 0800-SAVE-BZE. Condoning or engaging in border jumping is putting yourself, your family, and the entire country at risk. Remember, anyone caught will be fined up to $5,000 and or imprisoned for 2 years. Stop border jumping now. This message is brought to you by the Belize Police Department and the Belize Bank.
Usually by this time of night, the latest COVID-19 stats would be on the Ministry of Health and Wellness's Facebook page, along with a video of spokesperson Kathleen Azueta-Cho breaking them down. But those stats were posted without the video earlier today and then taken down. And up to this time, they still haven't been reposted. The initial stats showed a record-breaking 14 deaths in 24 hours. However, we just learned from acting DHS Dr. Melissa Diaz that those were the total deaths reported over the last 15 days, including today's 2. So the number of deaths recorded today was 2, with the other 12 having occurred over the last 15 days and simply being reported today. The stats had also included an additional 134 cases identified today, bringing the daily positive rate to 14.8%. The most cases were identified in Belize, which was 45 cases, followed by 29 in Cayo. 100 recoveries were also reported, with the recovery percentage at 47.5%. There are 36 active hospitalizations and 2 people in the ICU. There are currently 4,786 active cases and 211 deaths overall, bringing the case fatality rate to 2.22%. At the top of the month, we brought you a report about the suspension and rebranding of GOB's grocery bag program. It was a side effect of the government changeover and, according to Human Development Minister Dolores Balderramos, a necessary measure to work out some of the kinks that had taken hold in the system. We'd reported that one such kink was the listing of some irregular constituents who weren't from Lakei but from the Magic Kingdom. And while the country had a good laugh at the thought of this campaign visit, Minnie and Mickey were never really on the list. Instead, their names were included in the main database as a test case for parameters, basically for programmers to check if the program is working. As was explained to us, those numbers would never have made it onto a list for suppliers. As for the gibberish letters entered, those were just placeholders entries for members of households, not head of households, which would have been filled in later. So the screenshot that reached our newsroom was one of the global databases used for practice, and the names were perhaps placed accidentally in that practice setting. Regardless, pantry benefits are given by households, not to individuals, and still, House of Mouse does not qualify. Social distancing and work from home are part of the new COVID-19 norm, and two Belizean entertainment companies are hoping that you'll be willing to explore a 6-month Belizean comedy show called Comic Relief, which will be aired online. It is being created by Belizean production teams, and it will showcase young Belizean comedians who think that they can get you laughing, especially in these hard economic times when the general public has a lot of daily worries. Flavors Entertainment, which is already exploring ways to monetize the virtual world as the new entertainment venue, has teamed up with the company Comedy Belize to create this show. This evening, representatives from both companies granted us an interview via Zoom to discuss why they think you'll enjoy this new online video series.
Comic Relief is actually a series of comedy shows that Flavors Entertainment and Comedy Belize came together to produce. Basically, the way the show is set up is that we have divided Belize into 4 areas: Belize South, Belize North, Belize Central, and Belize Islands. And each of these areas will have 3 comedians who will compete to become the king or queen of their specific areas. And later on, they will go on to face off against the other areas in Belize, and someone will be crowned the comedy king or queen of Belize. Our show starts down south with the comedians from Belize South, and they will be performing this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Each comedian will do 4 shows, and we've given them 4 different themes that they'll be writing to. You know, what's really exciting as well is that we have judges who are, professionals in their field who will be giving them commentary and feedback, and we'll also be encouraging the audience to vote for their favorite comedian. So after 4 shows, the judges will tell you who they feel is the best comedian overall, and then the audience's vote will count as well to decide who will go on to compete in the final show.
We source the talents from off Facebook. You basically the 3 participants from the South. You have David Morey. He's from Independence, or Mango Creek, or Bush Creek as he call it. You have Dennis Disho Sutherland, he's from Nadriga, and then you have Jerome Andron Bosabi Norales, because these guys, they have their stage names and so forth. We approach these guys and just ask them, are you interested in doing this comedy show? And they were like, yeah, we are ready for it. And I can tell you, like Andaze have previously said, when you look at these guys performing, these guys will have you rolling in your seat. They'll, they're just natural, So now we're hoping that people will see this, they'll buy into it, enjoy what we have to offer. And then, we will have additional persons. Like I said, we have a pool of talent here. It's just for us to get them out and get them performing.
Now, in order to buy a virtual ticket for this online show, it's a vendor-to-consumer interaction that might be a bit unfamiliar to you. You'll have to pay for it online, and then you'll send Comedy Belize proof of purchase via WhatsApp. After verifying the online purchase, they'll send you a unique customer code, which you can then use to log into the Sector 9 broadcasting platform to see the show. The organizers told us today that it is designed in this manner to minimize the face-to-face meetings and the potential COVID-19 exposure that comes with these.
We are broadcasting a show over Sec 9 streaming, which is available via app download, whether it's from the Play Store, the Apple Store, or Fire Stick. And if you're not into apps, you can also watch it on the website, www.sec9live.com.
Basically, we understand with this whole pandemic, we are trying to minimize the exposure of people. going, meeting you face to face and purchase. I know a lot of people, they're still not too comfortable doing the banking system, but for most cases, we have an account set up at Atlantic Bank. We have Zelle, which is yarela.lopez@gmail.com. And we also have the Cash App, YDFL Belize. So basically, we're trying to cover all grounds possible, make it easier for persons. But if people, they're not comfortable, again, like I said, with the banking, and they can contact anyone from Comedy Belize Flavors Entertainment, the participants, and they will get that information off to us, and we'll send them a code through WhatsApp for them to access the show.
The first episode of this comic relief series airs tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Belizean time. If you are uncomfortable with online purchases, well, you can contact representatives of Comedy Belize and Flavors Entertainment to pay your $12 for tomorrow night's show. Just now we told you about the unofficial COVID stats that were posted and then taken off the Ministry of Health and Wellness's Facebook page. While acting DHS, Melissa Diaz told us only 2 deaths were reported today. The stats, which were just posted, are saying 3 were reported today, while the other 11 died in the past 15 days, but their COVID positive status was just made known today. So the revised death total is now 211. All of the data, including the 134 new cases and 100 recoveries, were accurate. Last week, Friday, we told you how Jose Trejo, the controller of supplies at the Belize Bureau of Standards, explained why you, the consumer of cooking gas, have to pay the local butane companies an extra markup. As of December 11th of 2020, they purchased it from the National Gas Company for $65.92 per 100 pounds cylinder tanks. Again, as of December 11, 2020, the local gas companies then sell it to you at $103 per 100-pound tank. If you're in the urban parts of the country, that means that the local retailer makes $37.07 profit. This is a regulated price, which means that the government has the final say on what you, the customer, should pay the local retailers as a fair rate of return. Well, Jose Trejo contacted us minutes before our Friday's newscast was about to conclude. He said that there is a bit of fine print to the pricing equation, which he forgot to mention in our interview last Friday. Trejo said, quote, "The price regime is fixed. The margins for both urban and rural by design were meant to allow for independent operators to compete alongside the previous importers of LPG. Not doing this would give an advantage to the previous importers to squeeze out the independent Belizean operators, since they have significant storage capacity and much more depth in the distribution of LPG in the market. Insiders in the industry tell us that they have seen the emergence of new Belizean butane companies who have stepped up to challenge the dominance of the Central American companies. The strict regulation of the industry's supply chain did away with the predatory market practices that impacted both you, the consumers, and the homegrown butane companies." And that's all we have for you for tonight. Thanks for watching. With your news, I'm Indira Craig. Remember that you can see a streaming video of this newscast at 7newsbelize.com, brought to you by Digi, for the best postpaid plans in the country. Remember now to wash your hands, to wear a mask at all times in public properly, and to keep your social distance. And let's all do our part to flatten this curve. Join me back here tomorrow at 6. And until then, be safe and have a great night.